when you get to know what is happening, when you get to know how to use policies and statistics and data, that is where you get the results you want.
Welcome back, everybody. Rich Brubaker, founder of Collective Responsibility, here today with another episode of the Sustainable Ambassador Podcast. In this episode, I'm really happy to have Isabel Andam, a passionate climate advocate who aspires to make meaningful impact in the fields of climate action and youth empowerment. And the reason why I brought her on today is because she represents a younger voice than I do, certainly, and many of our past guests. Isabel, thank you very much for taking the time to join me. And as a starting point, it'd be great if you could introduce yourself and a little bit about the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much for having me here on your podcast. I am Isabel Andam, as you rightly mentioned. I'm from Ghana. I am a young climate advocate and an upcoming young climate negotiator in Ghana. I completed the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology just about 2 years ago. And I'm currently working in the climate change space with an NGO called the Strategic Youth Network for Development. And I'm currently the project lead on the Youth in Climate Action at the local levels.
So tell me about the organization itself and what do you do kind of as a youth leader?
The Strategic Youth Network for Development, it's a youth-led NGO that is focused on ensuring that there are youth interventions that will lead to environmental sustainability. We do it in two ways, through policy advocacy and community engagement. We go down the grassroots levels, meet with these young people and build their capacity or give them the platform they deserve in getting to know, how they can handle environmental issues and how they can develop their lives in a sustainable way.
I often hear that millennials and Gen Z don't care, but then I also hear that they care a lot, that we should be inspired by how much action they want to drive. And I'm curious, are the youth engaged on these issues? Are they active? Do they want to see something different?
The youth in Africa, we're a bit behind in getting to know all of these things because number one, it's not really found in our education curriculum and whatnot, and in our homes as well. Our parents don't even have the knowledge about climate change and environmental stuff. So you would only find just a few percentage of the young people in Ghana being actually interested in environmental issues. The rest are yet to get on board because the education or awareness raising is not yet at its peak in Africa, but we're trying.
Do you find that the youth are engaged on things that are very like in their backyards, in their faces every day, but that it's the climate, if it's too far away, they don't care? Like, is that true, or are all the issues still a little bit too unengaging right now?
So I know for a fact that when it comes to sanitation issues, you see quite a number of them being actually active in that. But when it comes to issues like water and whatnot, the interest is not really there because they don't know what's in for them, actually. Yes.
Okay. So when did you first become aware of the challenges and what catalyzed you to take action?
I first became aware of the challenge of climate change or environmental issues when I myself started my internship in the Environmental Protection Agency in Ghana. That is when I got to know about the topic of climate change and the fact that increasing rainfall patterns are actually as a result of climate change. So that is when I started to actually notice, okay, this is actually what we are facing. And I think it's high time I need to let people know that.
What did you learn in the internship? Like, who were you working with? What were you learning from them? What were some lessons you took away?
Okay, so I was mainly working with the climate change units and departments of the Environmental Protection Agency. So in there, you have directors and officers who specifically deal on national issues when it comes to climate change. I got to, first of all, know much about the science behind climate change. And also I got to know about the policies and regulations that are involved in the whole issue about climate change.
And how, if you were to think about how important that internship was in helping you understand climate change, but also understand what you could do as an individual, Was that an important experience for you that you take a lot away from, a lot of education, but also knowing how to have a change in the world or what you want to do in your career?
Yes, I think it was very important because getting to know, well, for any other person, I mean, my friends, they tell me it's too complex, it's too bulky, it's too much. But I
Mm,
realized that, I mean, all of that would really help me in the long run get to implement a lot of things when it comes to the vision I have, ensuring that the world is a better place for us to live in and all of that. So yeah, they were so important.
right. So you have this youth and climate action at the local level project. What is
Mhm.
your job and what are the tools that you use to do that job effectively? Or like,
Some of the tools I use in there, or how I'm helping the young people, is that I am building their capacities on, first of all, the policies and regulations we have as a country on
mm,
how we can engage with our assemblies. Most of us do not know that it is normal for a citizen to participate in town hall meetings, right? They think,
mm,
oh, I mean, it's the work of the assembly and the officials that work there. But there's actually laws and policies that say that there must be active citizen participation in all that the assemblies do. Well, currently that is what I'm doing. I'm just equipping them with the knowledge and also
mm.
giving them the space to engage with their local assemblies, and also giving them the space to know what is happening in other local assemblies, because I don't just pick one category of young people from just one region. It's across the whole country. So we end up learning from each other what is
Mhm.
happening here and there, so they are able to utilize it in their community.
Okay, now
Yeah.
in your organization, is this a group of young people trying to change the world? Is this a organization that has like people like myself who are older running it, but you're the young, army that's out there changing? Like what's the organization like and what's the energy of your group that you're working with?
So the energy is very high in
Mm,
implementing projects, but also when it comes to interacting with our government officials, we are a bit gentle because we kind of know what we want to do. And then we utilize the policies, regulations, and whatever we have in our countries to communicate with them. But we,
mm,
we really have energy, but we haven't gotten to that point of, shouting and all of
yeah.
that. No, it's high. It's
Yeah.
high, but
But how does high energy turn into effective change?
I mean, before I joined the NGO space, I was really furious about a lot of things that are happening in the environmental sector, and how that some way or somehow people are not taking responsibility for it. I was very furious, and if I had my own way, I'll just go out there and do whatever I can do. But at the end of the day, it won't yield any results other than just making noise, right? So
Mm,
how we're harnessing the energy is by bringing everyone together. So we try and have one goal, one vision, and we have strategies on how to go about it. So we
yeah.
don't want the energy going just everywhere and anywhere, and it's just like making noise. Yes.
Right.
But we want the energy to actually do real work. So we put them together, collaborate. So we make things happen on the ground.
What made you realize that being fierce was the wrong tool or the wrong mindset?
So being fierce was okay, but then when you get to know what is happening, when you get to know how to use policies and statistics and data in actually talking about a situation, that is where you get the results you want. So that's how come we're not so fierce, but we are fierce in our hearts and
Yeah.
in the way we implement our projects, because that is the only thing that is fueling our passion right now. But we are just using it in another way to make sure we get actual results.
What do you feel when someone tells you, slow down, you don't know enough, you should sit there and listen first?
It's not a good feeling at all, but it depends on who is talking in the first place. If that person is someone who is actually in the offices at the top, has actually a lot of work to do, and you can see that they're really involved in the structures and the system, well, I think then I would want to know the perspective of where the person is coming from. So, I mean, if it aligns with whatever I'm saying, then I'll take it. If not, I don't think I'm going to tone down. Yeah.
But do you find now that those leaders, let's say they're CEOs of firms or government leaders, are they growing more open to your voice now? Are they listening to you more? Or do you think that it's more challenging to engage them now?
I think they're being a bit more open
Mm,
because everyone keeps talking about it. And for now, there's no denial, right? There's no denial to whatever to whatever um effect we're currently having. So for now and where we've gotten to,
mm.
I think they are being a bit more open to all that is happening, but not so open, right?
All right, let's talk a little about you and your career. You spent some time in the space working for NGOs. You spent some time in school trying to drive a little bit of change. What do you think have been the early skills or early experiences that have given you the most benefit to your ability to be an advocate, be an activist, build movements, empower others?
My knowledge and understanding on the topic of climate change, first of all,
Mm,
has been one of the early skills that has really helped me a lot. And I think, secondly, my communication skills, specifically public speaking, and
mm.
also the basic understanding of policies and legal frameworks we have in the field. Yeah, so I can say these are the early skills that have helped me in one way or the other.
What does your future career look like, and what do you want to learn or do, or what's your vision for the future?
Everything. So my future is more towards, building real solutions, empowering young people, empowering any individual to actually put real action on the ground rather than just talking.
And does that mean that do you see yourself working in the government, in a company, in a nonprofit? What maybe talk through which one would be the best and why?
I would prefer to be in the private sector. And being in the private sector means that I can actually go anywhere and everywhere, build my capacity as much as I can, so that I can be able to do things that I want to do, right?
Right.
I'm not the one implementing policies, but I would really want to put things on the ground. So I would like to be in the private sector. Yeah.
And then who do you learn from? Have you found mentors? Do you have people that you look up to? Like, what's the best way at your age to understand the path for your future career or for the future mission that you're on?
So I do have
Mm,
mentors. So one of the best ways I'm going through this whole journey is by learning from them.
okay.
Yeah, I that's the only way, because the books are there, the knowledge is there, but if you don't have reality on the ground is real. So if you don't have someone who is on the ground to guide you on how to go about it, you might miss your way. Or
And how did you, one, identify your mentor, but two, most importantly, how did you ask them to be your mentor?
I didn't go looking for them actually. I got to identify them by the work they do in the space, and I got to know them through my internship with the
Mm,
Environmental Protection Agency. One thing I know is that when you're someone who is committed, hardworking, has a purpose, has a vision, you somehow get to align yourselves with people who have the same vision, same commitment, same passion, and the ability to work hard. So I think we end up identifying ourselves.
how do you stay passionate? The world is kind of going crazy, and it seems sometimes it's going backwards, but you have a lot of energy. So how do you maintain that energy, and what do you do when the energy drops a little bit for you?
So I always think about my children, first of all. What am I leaving behind for them? And what kind of environment am I leaving for them to come and stay in? So that is the only thing that keeps driving me and keeps me being passionate. Sorry. And whenever I'm low, I have quite a number of people who keep me accountable for my growth.
Mm,
One is my mentors, and secondly, my friends. Whenever I am low, obviously they are the first people I go to talk to about my issues. So as soon as
Yeah.
I go, they don't tell me or they don't reply me back with problems or issues. They remind me of where I started from and where I want to go. So honestly, it's been something that has been keeping me going because as a young person, you feel
Yeah.
the need to you feel the need to have impact now. You feel the need to live a fulfilling life. And when you're not seeing anything, you end up being anxious, depressed, name it, all of it. Yeah. So they really help me a lot.
As a mentor now yourself for the next generation of people, what are a couple pieces of advice you'd give them as they get started on their own path to making the world a better place?
Education is really important. Get yourself educated, and after getting yourself educated, do not stop learning, because the more you have the knowledge about the things you want to work on, the more effectively and efficiently you get to work on them, and the more you would be able to achieve on your goals.